Welcome back. So we've been talking a lot about what other team members are doing and what their part is in bringing efficient use of data to the fairy tale world. But now it's time to focus on the cool things you are going to do. For this lesson and all of the following lessons, we will be focusing on mastering the SQL query. Penny Programmer also built web pages for you in Princessware, and today we are going to talk about how you will get to use those web pages to write your queries. Get excited because being able to write a SQL query puts you in an elite group, and after this course you will definitely have this skill and be able to use it with ease. After today's lesson, you will know how to write a query in Princessware, and we will write a query that makes one calligrapher's life much better. We already went over how you would write a query in Fairy SQL. Writing your query in Princessware will be quite similar, but there are a few things to know. Penny and the Programians built a whole reporting section in Princessware. They use code interspersed with SQL to create pretty web pages that allow you to write queries that will communicate to the database and then return results on your Princessware screen. The words and the syntax you use to write your SQL in both programs will be exactly the same, but if you write the query in Princessware, there are a few additional bonuses. First, if you write your query in Fairy SQL, a program that Cinderella is not using, you would somehow have to transfer the files to her. If you write your queries in Princessware, a program that Cinderella is using daily, she could log on and simply navigate to the place where you stored the queries. She could go to the report location to view the results. One other consideration is aesthetics, how pretty and useful the user interface is. If you write the query in Fairy SQL, the user interface is nice, but it's not quite as pretty as Princessware. So now that we covered that, let's walk through the screens you would see in Princessware. So just like everyone else, you would type princessware.com into your browser. Because we know you will be our baddest query writer in town, you will be given a reporting security role associated with the username and password that are stored in the access table for you. This will determine what pages you see and what you can do in Princessware. After you successfully log on to Princessware, you will see a fairy tale quote and a menu. You have a tab for subject profiles and memories, just like Cinderella and the subjects, but you also have a reporting tab on your menu bar. When you click on the reporting tab, you will be taken to the reporting screen. Here you will see the Cinderella 1 schema and a new menu with 3 options. Option 1, you can view the catalog, which houses saved queries. Option 2, you can create a new query and return data. Option 3, you can return to the main menu and do things like view the subjects or party memories. Today we are going for option 2. You are going to help us write a query in your new tool. So when you select new query, you will be brought to a screen where you can enter in the select statement we talked about previously. So we could write a simple query like select first name, last name, address from subjects. The select tells the SQL program to select the data under the columns first name, last name, and address. The from subjects table tells the database where to look for those columns and data. Once you hit submit on this screen, we will return that chart we call a result set. This should all look very similar to Fairy SQL, but it is a little different because you will have a few more options. Now we don't have room to see all of the rows in a result set, but we can press the More Results tab to view additional results. The result set can also be printed, shared with other users like Cinderella, or saved in the catalog. Now just a few logistical things. In future lessons for ease, we will not show the entire Princessware screen, but just use this pink box to write our queries in. Now before we go on to the next lesson, let's talk about how we could use this query. I'd like to introduce you to Cinderella's calligrapher, Charlie the calligrapher. He's in charge of creating all of Cinderella's invitations for parties. He has beautiful handwriting and can make the most beautiful invitation if he is not rushed. However, pre-database, it was a challenge for Cinderella to get Charlie a nice clean list of all of the subjects she is going to invite because her subject data is so scattered. Sometimes she would hand Charlie a heap of messy note cards on the day that she wanted the invitations to be sent out. This really stressed poor Charlie out. Once the database was in place, Cinderella requested a query that would get all of the subject first names, last names, and addresses from the subject table, just like the one we wrote in a few slides ago. Instead of her scattered way of retrieving subject information from her cards, Cinderella had a nice simple list that she presented to Charlie. Charlie took the list and made beautiful invitations. The invitations were mailed out and all was well. At least for now. So now we have seen how you will be able to write queries in Princessware, and we have seen an example result set in Princessware that was most helpful for Charlie the calligrapher. Now it's time for you to write some queries and then come back for the next lesson where we start to write queries with more finesse.